and just from also from a coaching standpoint?
I think when it comes to footballing side, I think that we're gonna try and be a lot more aggressive when we're defending. We'll want to try and press higher on the teams when they have the ball, and obviously not that much different from when it's on the ball. I feel like the holding onto the ball and having possession is like the main thing there. But yeah, I feel like we have a lot of energy this year, and we're going to try and implement that into our defending.
And what's his sideline demeanor like? What is it like working with him in training and in the games? How is he as a sideline coach?
Yeah, it's great. He's very hands-on. He's giving advice to everyone all the time, and he's very passionate. You can see it, and he's very involved.
Robert, when you see players coming in like Allende and Fafa, there's obviously direct competition for you as a wing player. What is the thought process for you in that moment?
It's part of the game, It's just I've gotten used to it, Every year is the same, not just in MLS. Everywhere I've been before, it's the same. There's always going to be competition. There's always going to be like that little battle between the players in those positions. But that's just healthy competition. Comes with the team and makes everyone else better as well.
Has Mascherano talked to you about what's your role this year with this team?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be anything out of the ordinary. I'm still a winger, so it's nothing crazy.
What do you know about Olympia? Do you know anything about soccer in Honduras? What are you looking forward to for the game this weekend? And being the third game now in the Americas tour, how is this tour helping you guys? How does it compare with last year when you were traveling much longer distances?
I think this year it's like, obviously having to train here at home a lot of the time, it's going to be way more useful for us. And then traveling to these new countries is always exciting to play new teams that I've never played against, or the countries I've never been to. So it's always exciting.
Robert, what did you think of this last game, particularly the red card to their defender for the fouls on Messi? What did you think of that overall?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's seen the videos, and I was on the sideline warming up when it happened. It was the first one that it was a crazy tackle. I didn't think that would happen in a friendly game for sure, but it's always, it's part of the game. Sometimes things get heated up, and just sometimes happens.
You guys weren't too happy with that, though?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Robert, you're now one of the oldest, not oldest in age, but the oldest.
One of them too, also.
Almost 10 years.
Being here in Inter Miami, how do you receive the new guys, and how is it that for you that along with Drake, you're the two players with the most appearances in Inter Miami?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of experience in the team, whether it's being at the club or like just seeing the world and playing at the top teams. So I don't think there's pressure on me and Drake having this role of experienced players. I think there's a lot of, like I said, experience from other players, and I don't think it's just, I think for new players, it's, at least I'd like to think that it's easier to come in. I feel like everyone is welcoming, and it should be pretty comfortable in adapting into the atmosphere in the locker room, because I feel like everyone is extremely friendly.
There's a very large Argentine contingent here, a lot of Latin American flavor. How do they involve the guys that don't speak Spanish? How do they involve the likes of you, Drake? How are you guys brought into the thing? Not just in training, but when you guys are in the locker room, on trips, how are you guys brought into the whole thing?
I think that's just, we communicate with bad Spanish and bad English together, and it's fun. It's the way we are together, and I don't think there's any cliques around the team. I think everyone gets along very well.
What's the vibe around the team this year? Does it still feel like the Beatles when you hit the road and that insanity?
Yeah, I mean, of course, the fans around the hotels and the buses and the stadiums is crazy. It's really exciting.
Is there a different mentality after the disappointment of the playoffs last season? Do you guys have any mantras that have kind of...
Yeah, of course, there's goals that we need to get to, and we want to win more trophies than we did last year. Of course, that's the main goal here.
Going back to your role, when you started in the first game against Liga MX, what were the tactical responsibilities, especially defensively from Mascherano? We talked about being a more high-pressing team this year, but we also saw a lot of organization, a lot of compactness in between the two defensive line. So what does Javier Mascherano ask of his winger?
Yeah, just basically off the ball, you want to be next to your midfielders, making the field small for the opponent, trying to keep everything contact, keep tight lines, and be aggressive when there's the chance to be. And then on the ball, try and stretch out the field, make runs in behind, and be a threat in that sense.
You have 2 preseason games left, right? So you have this Honduras one and then the one against Orlando. How far along do you think you guys are as a team? Do you think what percentage would you say are you ready to start CONCACAF Champions Cup, and then the regular season starts February 22nd? Where are you guys in the development as a team?
I think we're doing really well. I think we're really far in development, as in like when it comes to preseason and only having a couple of games behind us. Of course, it's going to be a different game when it's not just a friendly anymore. But the way that we have approached these friendlies, it's not really a regular way that we approach them. We have a lot of pressure on to win these games. I know that there's a lot of eyes on, so I don't think anyone goes to these games not taking it seriously. I think we take every friendly very seriously, and that's why I think that we're so far into the development of the team.
Good. I wanted to ask also follow up on if you could expound a little bit on the fact that you've been able to train at home a lot more during this preseason than last year. Can you just explain more about how beneficial that is compared to being on the road for the long period of time that you were and the long distances you were traveling?
Yeah, I think obviously the traveling always takes a toll from anyone, and just being able to train at home, getting ready for the climate here as well is different. So just being at home with your families, for many players, it's an advantage also to mentally be ready to prepare. So I think it's been a huge help for us to be able to make shorter trips to the games and being at home more.
Robert,
Last one. Yeah, Coach Ray.
Finland has a new coach, and the World Cup qualifiers are coming. Are you interested in going back to the national team, or is that something that?
Yeah, always. I'm always open to going with the national team, of course.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.